And welcome, everyone. We are back transmitting to you from the year 3000 with another episode of Here on the Wastes, where we play Horizon Unknown After Earth RPG. My name is Scott, aka Mr. Shogi 3000, and I'm your host this evening and the creator of this game. We have our wonderful cast here again this evening in full, and we're gonna jump in. We have a lot to dig into this evening as we go into episode number 53. Is it you or is it the audio quiet? For who? No one's talking except for me, Pi. If I'm low, can you tell me?
It sound okay to me on my end, but
Bye boy.
Bye bye. How is
Bye
that?
bye.
Okay, hopefully that's a little bit better there. We're again. This is season 5. This is episode number 53 that we're in here. This one is going to be called A World of Questions Without Many Answers. So, as always, we like to start off with introducing our amazing cast here. Playing the amazing Rev is Ran118. How are you this evening, good sir?
I'm good. I'm tired, but good.
Excellent. We are glad that you're here. We truly appreciate it. Always.
Me too.
I don't know why I say we. I think there's more than one Scott that exists in this universe.
It's the royal we. I
It's
do
the
that
ro-
on the stream too. The royal we.
Yes, excellent. And of course, playing Voldo, we have the amazing Mike this evening. How are you, good sir?
I am doing well.
Excellent.
Just, excited to play.
Excellent. Glad to have you here as always. Truly always thankful that you're part of the group here. And
Always a pleasure.
playing the Sarge, the new evil Sarge, the new and improved Sarge. We got Mr. Richard Keith. How are you this evening, good sir?
Good. Looking forward to it.
Excellent. Excellent.
Glad to see everyone.
Absolutely. Very glad that you're here with us this evening, Richard. We did miss you last week. And of course, as
Good.
always, no, bringing it up, my brother from another mother playing the Doc. Shane
In
O'Mac.
a world with so many questions, not so many answers.
How are you this evening, good sir?
Doing well, thank you.
Excellent. Glad to
Glad
have
to be
it. We
here.
have the amazing Pi in the chat, so that means Pi saves are activated for as long as Pi can hang out with us this evening. So thank you so much, Pi, for being here this evening. Thank you so much
Bye boy.
for the continued support and that sub, and thank you very much, Ryan, as well, for the continued support.
Of course.
Very,
That's
very
right.
appreciative. Again, episode number 53 here. A world of questions without many answers. As last we left the group, you survived Holin's test. You went toe-to-toe with Holin just to find out that it was just a mere vision, a mere illusion that he had concocted to see what you were truly made out of. After you had done pretty good amount of damage to him, and he did a pretty good amount of damage to you all as well. A couple things you found out. Number one, that you're much stronger than you maybe had thought initially as a group. Number two, there is a crazy sword Teddy that now exists in this world that has been created best friends with Voldo, and that Holin is now reopened up the cave to you and merely states that he's going to allow you to follow him and he'll try to find you back to the path. As you all accepted that and you ventured out back into the jungles themselves, he starts to walk you west. Walks you about northwest. As it happens and you guys merely start to get together here, I need a walking order of how you guys are configured. Rev is right next to Holin because he said he did want to speak with you as well.
Yeah.
You want to take the lead, Rev, or you want to
Yeah, I'll be up there with
I'm gonna
Holin.
bring
for
up the
now.
rear.
And
Okay.
then I'll be right behind Rev with Danny behind me.
Okay, so somewhere in the middle is the Sarge, Jaina and Sinjin. I'm guessing, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't trust Teddy.
I don't even.
Aw.
Want to get rid of him.
Teddy's such a nice guy.
Teddy's a good
Yeah,
guy, man.
He got me
Give Teddy a
sad.
break.
He sounds too much like a good fella.
He's a dull
Simple as
good
that.
fella. Before you at the end of this day, you're gonna call him Brooklyn Teddy. Okay, now that we have the walk in order and the doc is actually bringing up the rear, you guys are relatively condensed and close together at least. You're not single file or anything like that, but enough that Voldo, you're probably within an earshot of anything that Holin and Rev are going to be talking about. Okay, as well as Danny would be as well. As Holin kind of gets ready to move out, make sure everything's situated, he kind of motions over to you in a kind of a dog-like, just kind of moves his head for Rev to get up next to him. And he merely starts to say, Rev, we have much to discuss. We'll do it as we walk.
Rev says, this will probably be one of the strangest conversations I've ever had.
Holin merely turns and starts to walk, and he just kind of gives a sound as he starts to begin to walk forward.
Rev wants to like turn back to Voldo and give him a look like, watch my back. I'm not exactly sure what this big giant wolf guy is gonna do,
The eyebrows, like.
Yeah, like
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
I'm with you already because he did just attack us and kill me. So
yeah.
He actually did. Yes, this is true.
he did kill me.
Yeah, Rev's like eyes open.
Lord, like,
As you start to begin to walk, you get, number one, I'd like you all to tell me, are you going to be relatively, even though, let's just say in regards to Voldo is going to be very aware of what Rev is doing. What about the rest of you in regards to the surrounding situation? You're aware that there are other things that seem to reside in these jungles. Are you hyper aware, kind of watching the tree lines, watching the bushes, or are you merely just a bunch of group just walking through the jungle behind a very, very large wolf?
Yeah, I kind of wanted to just keep an eye on everybody, but scope everything at the same time, just in case. Just like you said, I wanted to, just in case something comes out of anywhere. I mean, obviously, I'm kind of leaving my six exposed, but I just kind of feel a little more secure in this position, and I'm keeping like half of an extra eye on Boldo, just to see if he gets messed with by that. I don't know. I'm just between him and the Sarge. My I want to say my I don't want to say defenses are peaked, but I'm kind of just like something's just off. I'm trying to still come to grips with what just happened.
Mm-hmm.
All of this mystic stuff is still just everything in my nature is fighting all of this, not wanting to believe, and it seems like every day or every encounter I'm more convinced that I'm just missing out on some crazy crap, and that I have a whole. I mean, I've been around long enough to where I've heard about it. I'm not completely negligent to it, but it's one of those things where you try your best to just explain things away and maybe think there is a mortal creation behind some of it. But now I'm just like, oh my gosh, there is a lot more to this stuff, and I feel almost a little bit defeated, and I feel like, well, shoot, what else is going to happen, So I'm just kind of trying to keep an eye on everything, keep an eye, watch Sarge a little bit too, and look for things out of character for him, things like that.
Okay. Rev, what would Jaina be doing?
Jaina, I think, is a little confused because she is kind of in touch with her mystical side.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like what Poland's test did with it, like almost taking us to either another reality or like we're all in a shared dream, whatever that was where we fought and then it came out of nowhere. I think she's a little intimidated and scared of what this thing is that she's following around.
Okay.
So I would say she's probably looking to someone for comfort. And if Rev is up near that guy, it might be Sinjin she's got to turn to
Sure.
since
Okay.
he always kind of stays close to her. So
That makes sense. Okay, excellent. Voldo, what would Danny be doing? What would Danny be thinking in regards to everything that has just transpired, especially in regards to the encounter that you've had as well in that cave?
I was gonna say she just saw me get killed and then come back to life magically. So I mean, I don't know. She's probably like hyper vigilant and not
Sure.
very trusting at the moment. You know, and probably just keeping an eye on Voldo.
Gotcha. Okay.
You know?
So it's easy to say that you're probably aware of her, this hyper vigilance that she has over watching you.
Yeah.
You get the sense though that it's not just specifically in regards to you falling. It's everything else that she's experienced being with you in this very, very short time since you were in the ship itself, the connections that you guys had, the conversations that you've had with things that aren't necessarily of this world, as well as the fact that a big gigantic wolf just kind of like came in and made a cave disappear and then made a cave reappear, and now this wolf is leading the way, you know. Even though Vea is very much her homeland, again, as you remember, she hasn't been here since she was a child, so she's very much a stranger in this land, at least she feels. So her staying close to you is the security that she has of just being grounded, at least in the moments. Sarge, you've gone through a lot in mere hours. You've gone through a lot since you've actually met this group. How do you think you feel about everything that has kind of transpired for you in the past 2-3 days since stepping foot into Vea? Maybe even longer for all you know.
With the Sarge, well, he knows like he recently met all these guys, and he's like now he has the now like like he also with Holland too.
Sure.
Like he knows that Holland knows something about this this interaction with Fendon.
Sure.
Or at least he thinks. So he feels like he feels a sense of protection over the group, and like in his mind he feels he can control this power from the sword. Like he feels that there's some way that he might be able to like tame this power.
Okay.
But
as you're all walking, taking step by step, number one, you each notice that the heavy burden, weighed down, exhausted feeling that had been affecting you previously doesn't seem to exist for you at all. That you feel actually relatively rejuvenated.
do we feel with this cloak that's, protecting us from this, do we feel any sort of barrier from this, or is it almost like it's disappeared around us? Like, do we feel it holding it back, like it's trying to press in, or do we not even notice it anymore?
You don't even notice it at all.
Okay.
There's just a sense that it just is for you, Rev. That, if anything, that you not feeling that you're being weighed down and burdened and exhausted is enough for you at this point, because there's too much on your mind at this point to worry about the small things.
Okay.
You're about to have which you at least think, a very, very deep question and answer period with a colon that you haven't exactly had the best experience with up to this point. And you're not exactly very trusting of him either.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But if anything, he's said the right names. And he came bearing gifts. And you're still alive.
Well, and if nothing else, his cloak is doing what he claimed it's going to do, since we're not feeling that lethargy or whatever.
With each step that you take, and you probably, as you walk side to side with Holland, he doesn't say anything to you for probably maybe 2 or 3 minutes. You do notice that his head is kind of almost like on a swivel, looking always up into the trees, into the canopies themselves. None of you guys can hear or notice the clicking sounds that were coming from the spindlers previously. Just mere thought, especially from anyone in regards to this, you probably think that they're probably afraid of Holland. And maybe sticking close to Holland is allowing you to walk relatively unharmed through this. But how long that will last, no one will really know. With every step, though, Sarge, there's a heaviness that falls upon you. And it's not a heaviness of like a tiredness or anything like that. That's a physical burden on you. It's a heaviness that is weighing on your mind. As you can hear it, whatever it is, breathing. Like it's almost right over your shoulder. Doesn't say anything. But you know when you can feel that, number one, it's not Sinjin. It's not Jaina. The doc is probably 2 or 3 steps behind you, so it's not him either. There's something else. And then you flash back, and you're back at that table. That table where you made the deal. This time the table is bare. There's nothing on there except for a single candle that is relatively burning normally. Do you do anything during this moment?
Can I notice anything? Is there anything unusual about the table, or like any other?
As far as you know, it's the exact same table. Exact same table.
Oh, okay.
Only one chair.
So, I'm gonna walk over to it.
Okay.
Like now the Sarge, like he's starting to like have like some doubts about this whole thing. Like now that he knows what do you call it?
This is this is no time to be doubting.
Yeah,
yourself.
he's like he knows that.
Is what you hear from the
like,
shadows.
He kind of like slumps down with the heaviness into the chair, and he knows that like he's bound like to this whatever it is, like whatever this is, whatever fate holds for him. But he kind of sits and he just like stares at the table.
You stare at the table, and then in time, you can feel a cold breeze blow through, and you can see that the flame kind of snaps and whips, almost extinguishes, and then comes back to life. You can now sit, and you're merely sitting there, watching the flickering of this flame, hypnotized by its movements. This is no time to doubt yourself, Sergeant. This is going to be the time for action. Soon enough, evils will come, and you will have to unleash me. For I hunger. One way or another, you will feed me. Rev,
Yes.
Holin stops for a mere second, lets you catch up, and just goes, Rev, be ever watchful. They hold their distance, but they will strike if we are weak.
You're talking about those spiders. Where do they come from?
I do not know where they come from, Rev. They are bound to the darkness. I can only tell you that you should have never come here. This is
Rev
not
says
the place for you to be.
We don't have much choice. There's no place left for us in Vea either.
He merely snaps his kind of head back, kind of gives a little bit of a heavy breath. He merely looks at you and turns back and just goes, stay close to me. We will begin our conversation.
Rev kind of hesitantly keeps pace as they move through the jungle.
During this time, he starts off with relatively just general information that he will do what he can to ensure that you find the path again, and that you must stay on the path. And he will follow you as far as the bridge of Baldur, but no farther. He begins to tell you, here's the important things, Rand. If you lose the path again, you might never find it. Unless you know someone who can find you the path. So stay upon it. There are dark things in these jungles. Things that conceal. Things that deceive. Things that can make you see things. Even more horrifying things than I have made you see.
Is there any way to see past these illusions, these dark things?
No. You just must be aware.
How do we fight things we cannot see or spiders who take us from the path? How do we fight this?
You stay on the path. You do not stray. Once you can get to the bridge, then you will be out of the grasps of the jungle. But even beyond the bridge, and even on the bridge itself, there are dark things that are working here. They are bound by Starfire. They are bound by Minari. As he continues to tell you these things, you notice that he's not exactly going at in any kind of fast pace. He's not fast walking or anything like that. He's relatively taking his leisure time. It's a bit unnerving for you that he's taking this leisurely stroll through dark infested jungles. But if anything, it gives you a sense that you probably are going to be safe with him, that whatever is out there doesn't want to get anywhere close to him. Especially if he's taking his sweet time like this. He stops for about a minute, and then he starts up again. He tells you that what normally would take 3 days can take you 3 months. That's the power of these lands. But I tell you this, for all the darkness that lurks upon Vea itself, stay away from the 3 cloaks of the 3 eyes. They live in these jungles, Rev. They are bound to the darkness. They make you see things worse than I could ever do. These are dangerous lands. You must tread carefully. This place will test you like none before. In order to find what you desire, you will first find horrors.
Can we hide from these eyes, from these watchers?
Unfortunately, no. Do
Then how
not
do we fight
trust
them?
anyone. They will come as friends. They will come as children. They will come as the people that you care about most. They will prey on your weaknesses. There are always 3. They do not have names either.
You have many warnings, Holland. They do not give my heart comfort.
He just goes, a good joke. Nothing gives any comfort here in Vea, and I have been here almost 400 years. I hate this place. The gods.
Why do you stay?
Because I am bound. The silver thrush has given me protection over some of Vea itself. I am a messenger. I do what the silver thrush requires.
Your dedication does you credit, Holden.
I do what I can. She saved me once. It's all I can do to repay it. A question for you now. What do you know of the Mad King?
The Mad King. Do you mean who do you know as the Mad King?
The one known as
Are you talking about
Falcorn.
Marvis Falcorn? We learned a bit about his past in that, well, in that ship that you pulled us from. We learned that he was a captain of a ship, and he has since gone down a dark path in the years since he first came to Soldaria.
What has he become of him since reaching Lumina?
Nothing good. He is known as the Bandit King. He has connections with many powerful people. He's the reason we're on this continent. He's the reason that Jaina is as tarnished as she is.
He merely looks back and he just goes, "Is the guy behind you Jaina?"
Rev chuckles at this. He goes, "No, Jaina is the young woman there by the soldier who is the one I'm trying to protect."
He looks back again and just goes, "She is young."
She is young, but she is strong, and she's been through much.
I can sense it. I should have killed him while I had a chance.
You've met Marvis Falcorn?
I am the one who led him out.
Why?
I merely ran into him when he first crash landed. He required help, and I offered.
Did you sense the darkness that was growing in him?
No. I sensed hunger. I should have ate him. But he was always rambling and babbling like a madman, even then.
Do you know what drives him?
I could hear him in his sleep. Vengeance.
Vengeance against who? With how long he's been around, I feel like there's nothing left for him to have vengeance against.
That, unfortunately, I do not know.
Well, he is who we fight, and he is who we have come here to find help to fight.
I understand. But what brings you here? Why of all places?
We were told by a seer that someone from the Saldaran race here might be able to help us fight. Because on the continent of Lumina, we are outcasts, we are rebels, and all that is under control is by the Bandit King and his minions. So we came to find help to fight them.
A Saldaran, you say?
Yes, I think there's some holy man or someone who has some power here who might be able to help us. That's all we know.
You seek Kunjin.
Kunjin, do you know Kunjin?
He's the elder who sits upon God's finger. I have met him once.
Do you know if he can help us?
If anyone could, it might be him. He's been alive much longer than I have. Some say since the dawn of this planet, but no one knows for sure.
Rev kind of looks back at Danny and he asks, Is he connected with Danny at all? Our Saldaran
He looks back
friend.
and he just goes, only by race, probably nothing more.
Well, he is who we seek. Do you have any information that can help us find him or gain audience with him?
Come bearing gifts.
Bearing gifts. What does one bring to somebody who's been here since the dawn of Saldaria?
I brought him a kill. He seemed to take quite a fancy to it.
Kill what? One of those spiders or what?
There are other things, Rev, that reside in Veya. Open your mind. It's not about what exactly it is. It's the fact that you did bring something.
I will keep that in mind. Rev's a little disturbed by this.
He is a kind being. That's all I can tell you. He offered me much in the one time that I met him.
Well, I hope that he can help us in our journey, because not many people have. Besides your silver thrush, I would say.
Lorien is, well, the Titaness is quite kind. She watches over you, though, it seems. She's taken a
Does she-
fancy to you.
Does she have a stake in all that's going on Seldaria?
Only to see that all things remain in balance. And right now, they are not.
Rev wants to kind of.
Go
Sorry,
ahead.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, Rev is kind of like all these things that Holland is telling him. He kind of wants to share with the group, so he's not the only one who.
Sure.
Has
I mean, I'm
this
listening
knowledge.
in.
Yeah.
I'm listening to
Voldo,
everything.
you're picking up most of what they're laying down.
I'm
You're getting
trying to
you're
do
getting
everything, too.
90%. You start to notice Voldo's getting a little closer.
Exactly.
And then he kind of
Slowly
backs off
be
a little
creeping
bit.
up.
Gets a little closer.
Yeah.
He's kind of doing the yo-yo back and forth. You can definitely go ahead and provide any of that information to them. You just need to tell me how do you want to do it.
Well, yeah, Rev wants to actually kind of, before Holden goes on and tells him more, he wants to say, "You've given me much to ponder. May I have a little time to share with my friend?"
He merely looks at you and he just goes, "Time is not what we have much of, but I'll give you what I can. Make it quick."
All right, Rev's gonna like kind of let Holdo or hold
the door. Holden
kind of go ahead of him, and he wants to kind of walk back and kind of just in the middle of the group, make sure that Doc can hear him, especially since Doc, has more of a history with Marvis Falcorn. And he wants to tell the group, Holden, he looks at Voldo, as some of us may have heard, has some connections with the people that we are fighting and also the people we're trying to get help from. Rev wants to look at Doc and say he is the one who led Marvis Falcorn out of these jungles way back when you first crashed.
You're freaking kidding me.
I asked him if he could tell what he would become, but he just said he was agitated and didn't sense the darkness that apparently has taken him over now.
Did he mention anything about any of the survivors, other survivors?
No, I should ask him. He only mentioned, what did he call him? The king? Called him some sort of king.
Falcorn? King?
I mean, he's the bandit king now. I don't know if he was already calling himself some sort of king when he met him. I don't know. Rev also wants to look over at Danny and say, "Do you know about Kunjin?"
Danny is now Danny is kind of like got her arm wrapped inside of Voldo, and she merely looks and she just goes,
"Side of me."
Well, like loop through is what I meant to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
She merely just goes, "Yes."
Do you know about bringing gifts to Kunjin?
Yes.
Rev kind of looks at Voldo, like, a little help here.
I'll tell her. Go ahead, talk to him, tell him everything.
She merely just
Rev's
goes,
like, "What kind of gift should we bring?"
Yeah, I'll just ask her what gifts. Yeah, what
he's aware.
What he says.
The gifts represent things. The purity of one's heart. If it's like a sacrifice, or if it's from your heart, if it shows your purest intentions, then he's always accepting. If it shows something else, then he knows.
Knows what?
The reason why you're here.
So we need to be prepared when we try to meet with him.
Don't we want him to know why we're here? Isn't this the cat that's supposed to help us?
Yeah, I have a feeling he's not going to be an easy man to impress or convince.
Something that's pure to our heart.
Something that shows your truest intention.
Truest intention.
Rev asked Danny, "Is this going to be something different for each of us?"
It always is.
We got to go to a market or something.
Yeah. Rev says, "Good luck finding that at a market, Voldo."
It's true.
Roll it up and down the aisle. Funyuns, truest intentions,
Cheetos.
Cheetos.
Flowers, candles.
I used to rely on Amazon for gifts.
Before Rev goes back up to continue with Holland, he does
Sure.
say, Holland did warn me that as we are moving across Vale, we need to, he's very adamant about this, stay on the path and avoid what he calls cloaks with eyes. Something.
The three cloaks of the three
Three
eyes.
cloaks of the three eyes. I don't know what that means. But
Does
he says that they will show themselves in ways that are untrue or that will, I don't know, it sounds almost like those ghosts we ran into early, finding what would mess us up the most and appearing as those things.
You guys all hear these words that has been provided to you by Rev. Sarge. Rev's words sound like they're riding on a zephyr, on a slight breeze that they come in and out. You're unfazed by anything he really says. You can't even really make out sometimes what he's even saying to you. You're still sitting there at that table, watching the dancing flame. As more time passes, you feel less and less like yourself. As if your very conscience is almost being lulled to sleep by this dancing flame. I need you to make a well-being check, if you could, please. Standard. I need you to roll it odd. So it's a D12.
Got an 11.
Okay. You feel yourself starting to daze off and even doze off. And as you do, you snap back. You wake back up. And you're back at that table, but the flame has been extinguished. And you only feel like a cold chill around you. And you hear the voice say, 3 eyes, 3 cloaks. Sounds like it's time to feed. Bring them to us.
Sarge says, he goes, I will.
As Rev finishes the last of his words and the sentences, you snap back into it and you can hear Rev have this conversation. I would like the doc and Voldo to make awareness checks or investigation checks, whatever works best for you to see if you notice anything different about the Sarge.
All right. Investigation. I rolled a 9. I have
19.
There's no D20 roll.
Oh.
It's a D12. It's always a D12.
4.
Okay. Doc, just because you said that you've been trying to keep an eye on him as well as Voldo. As Rev's having this conversation, he's telling you this information, you can see that the Sarge seems distant, that he seems not all there, and that when Rev says 3 eyes and 3 cloaks, there's a bit of a grin that kind of shapes onto the Sarge's mouth. You also start to notice that, weirdly enough, you don't know if you're just seeing things or if it's the light, but he's starting to look a little bit younger than the last time that you looked at him inside that cave. Now, it's not like he's Benjamin Button here or anything like that. He just seems some of the wrinkles and the scars that he had for so long, the crow's feet, they're starting to lessen, starting to soften a little bit. And then the Sarge seems to be back. Voldo, you notice that the Sarge kind of like snaps out of it a little bit, almost like somebody who was like tilting too much to one side and kind of like rights themselves a little bit. You get the sense that it's more like somebody who's been maybe on their feet too long and then kind of snaps back to it. That it's, for the most part, Sarge has been relatively solid-footed. That if anything, you don't know if he was lulled by Rev's words, or maybe he's just tired and exhausted still, which doesn't make any sense since you've been given rest. It's just an interesting thing to see from the Sarge, if anything. Rev doesn't notice anything because he's merely speaking to everyone at this point as well.
Yeah.
Then I'll make my way over to him real quick. I'll just kind of slowly head over his way.
Okay.
Ask him, like, hey, everything good?
So as he starts to make his way over to you, Sergeant, which isn't too far, it's like 2 steps to get to you, you hear him just go, his hand. It's a good time to give us his hand. Don't you think? I sent him a new friend.
I heard that.
No,
And the Sarge,
this is only in
the
the
Sarge
Sergeant's
kind of like,
head. In
Okay.
Sarge's head, yeah.
I think with the Sarge, like he sees Voldo like approaching, and like he has the Fendon's voice in his head, so he's kind of trying to like push it back because it's like he knows, because he's also got one eye on Holland too, because he knows something, and yeah, so I guess for right now he's like pushing it into the back of his mind like as much as he can.
Okay. But it grows more and more as Voldo walks up to you. And Voldo, like when you walk up to him, are you just kind of like standing there just talking with him? Do you make any physical contact, like put your hand on his shoulder, anything like that?
No physical contact. I just kind of like whisper to him and keep an eye on him.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'm definitely paying attention to him.
Sure.
Because like you said, that's weird for him. So,
and also, relatively, he is the oldest guy in the group as well, as far as you know, in physical looks. Obviously, it's the Doc, but it's in physical looks. It's definitely him. When he leans into you and just kind of like says, "Are you okay?" you hear a booming, like thunderous roar, and he just goes, "Wipe that smile off his face."
This is like the Bilbo moment. I think he the Sarge he could probably tell, but he's he's trying his best to ignore it. Like it's like it's like in the back of his mind, but he's can the Sarge kind of I don't know if he can mentally communicate with
Yeah, of course.
this force inside his head, or
I need you
because he's gonna say not now, not now.
Okay, I need you to roll duplicity, if you could,
Oh, okay.
because you need to be able to fake any kind of expression, because he did just bark into your ear.
I was gonna say I have intellect, and I have
what did he yell at him?
Mystical too. So I can't tell anything's going on.
You haven't asked to roll anything.
Oh, can I then? Yeah, because I have mystical. I would say I'm definitely kind of noticing if something's talking to him. He's got.
Well, you don't notice anything that's talking to him, though.
Well, yeah, exactly. But he's got to be having pauses in his speech.
Well, we're gonna find out how well he can mask his expressions here. Go ahead and roll duplicity if you can, please.
A 3.
Okay. He's relatively, the moment that you hear him just go, "Wipe that smile off his face," you kind of see all of you, the Sarge, just go, It's kind of like one of those. But you also, it's the reaction to what Voldo leaning into him and saying something. So it all kind of happens at the exact same time. For Voldo, it's not exactly, if anything, it's not exactly the response you expected to get from him. It's a little weird. But
I was gonna say I'd probably take a step back once he does that.
Sure, yeah. Does anybody do or say anything?
I mean, I definitely think something is weird. Can I roll mystical and see if I can tell anything?
My question to you would be, why would you roll mystical of all things?
Because I mean, the forest. We already heard that there's weird spirits in the forest. We were just
so you're buying the idea that maybe something mystical is affecting him there. Yeah, exactly. You can go ahead and roll it, but you're gonna roll it at extreme.
Is that a D12 then?
Yes. 10, 11, and 12 is the only success here.
I also have it.
It's just 10, 11, or 12.
Yeah, okay. I got a 9.
9? Okay. You get a sense of anything, because you have mystical, that there definitely could be something that's affecting him. It's hard to say specifically if it's something mystical that's affecting him spiritually, or if it's something mystical that's affecting him mentally, or something mystical that's affecting him physically. Could he be physically ill? That, any of those things. You get a sense, though, that if anything, that maybe he's carrying something with him from the ship, because he didn't seem that way when he went into the ship. I would like Rev to roll mystical as well, and I need investigation or intellect from you, Doc.
Yeah.
Okay.
What did Voldo say to him?
You don't know, because he said that he was just kind of whispering, "How are you doing?" You don't exactly hear him say it, or "Are you okay?" or something like that.
Rev's mystical is a 10, is what I rolled.
Okay. Rev, you don't know it for sure, but something is extremely dark is affecting the Sarge. to what exactly it is, you don't know. But even so, more than Voldo got a sense is maybe the Sarge is carrying something with him that he
And this
didn't
is the
have
first time.
previously.
This is the first time Rev has noticed anything out of the ordinary with the Sarge. Is that right?
You notice that the Sarge has been rather standoffish, even in the cave. But that's pretty much it.
Rev would like to, if he's sensing something mystical, and after what they encountered in the ship, he's almost wondering if maybe Sarge is being affected kind of like the Doc was, where he was sensing something from his past or something. Because if he's carrying something, maybe he thinks he took something from that ship. You know?
Just to reiterate, I don't know. I still don't know about the old knife I have.
No, as long as you keep calling it a knife, you know less and less.
Sword.
The sword. Thank you.
Well, one of the reasons why I'm so weird on the whole Teddy thing is because I don't understand what happened to the other spirit thing that was taken over Voldo. In my way of thinking, it's only logical for it to be displaced, and it's like, well, either this Teddy thing took it over and is a new form of it, or that other guy is messing with somebody else right now, you know? So
safe to say that those things are definitely could possibly be in play. What did you roll for your intellect anyways, though?
I have intellect, but I rolled a 3, and I forget how it affects it if
that's
you
pretty,
actually have.
That's relatively shitty. But it's definitely, obviously, something that you've been mulling over, but you still can't find the connections to anything. You know, it's a bunch of ideas that are randomly strewn out there on a obviously like on a board, and you're trying to take that yarn and make it reach all the other pins so you can tie it to something conclusive. But because your lack of mystical knowledge, that it's so hard for you to wrap your head around it, because you're looking at everything from a factual and a rational sense, from a educational, theoretical sense of anything.
Has Rev ever had an experience with these, like, originally it was not Otis, but our other friend who got his head cut off. What was his name? Eli's something with an S.
Skag.
Skag, thank you. Skag had that book.
Mm-hmm.
As far as he knows, is it possible for these artifacts to let go of them? Because from what his experience, these things like latch on and they don't let go of whoever their host is, right?
Could they possibly let go? You don't know.
Does that Rev doesn't know
you
anything
know
like
that,
that?
Unfortunately.
Okay. Well, if Rev does notice that there's something dark with the Sarge, he would actually like to approach kind of like Voldo did and say, Sarge, is everything all right with you? Because we've gone through a lot of crap in the last 6 hours. Are you sure everything's all right with you?
What do you say, Sarge?
Now, like when I was, as I recall, like I was like kind of dazed when he mentioned the robed guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think the Sarge, like, he's gonna kind of like blurt it out, but he's gonna say, he's just gonna say like, the robed ones, like we have to take out those robed ones.
Mm-hmm. I would like you to, when you say it that way, what are you trying to do by saying that?
Like, well, he's like, okay, he is like fixated on like these guys because like he's thinking of like feeding the sword.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So, or feeding Fendon or whatever.
Sure.
But
not a problem. That makes sense.
But like he's kind of he's thinking of it the same way. Like he's kind of got like a fixation on the like basically the target, like these robed ones.
Okay. So that's essentially what he says to you, especially to Rev and Voldo, who are essentially right in front of him.
Rev is like kind of flabbergasted. He's like, you wanna hunt these things? Holden just told us to stay away from them.
Sarge says, this is another scourge on the land. Like we'll make the world safer by going after these things.
I'm gonna not trust anything he's saying right now because I think something's up with him.
Rev is more confused than he is distrustful because the Sarge has never talked about hunting anything since the first time he's ever met him.
This is a good point.
He falls down at every fight they have. He's like, what is getting into you, Sarge?
That just even more.
Just like, he's not great in a fight.
Yeah.
You hear this. You hear this as well, Doc. What do you feel when you hear him say something like this? If anybody who knows the Sarge best, it'd probably be you.
I'm just gonna say, I admire your prowess. Your what is it? Your willingness to take on, some stuff, but that kind of came out of left field. I gotta say, you haven't really been yourself since we left the ship there, old buddy. Are you doing okay?
The Sarge kind of catches like his enthusiasm, like because he's kind of gotten like pulled over by this power of this sword and everything, and he starts to think, he kind of catches himself and he's like, you're right, we should be cautious, we should, but I really think we should try to face these things, but I believe we should learn more about them.
Okay, at this point, like, even if I didn't hear that, like, I straight up like threaten him at this point, like,
if you want to.
I want to like materialize my big sword, and like I'm gonna just like walk up to him, like, only this time like pissed off Holdo, like I want to like ask him like straight to his face, like, look me in the eyes, like, tell me nothing's going on right now, while I have my big sword next to me.
What exactly is big sword? What exactly does big sword mean?
My materialized, my scythe or whatever thingy.
What, like a cipher? What are you rapping?
No, my scythe.
Oh, your scythe. Your scythe. Yeah, your scythe. Okay,
yeah,
so
that's what I meant.
Gotcha. Okay, so he just kind of like pulls out his scythe, like,
and I hold it up to his face, like right up to his neck.
Rev wants to hold Voldo back before he does anything too crazy. Sure. Like,
yeah, I kind of want to be like, hey, whoa, wait.
Yeah.
Okay, well then I'm just gonna like turn around and look at them and be like, no, something's up with him right now. Like, I can't believe you guys can't tell.
Well, Rev's like, yeah, but it doesn't mean we need to cut his head off.
Well, cutting his head off is only if he fights back.
Wait.
Rev kind of looks at Voldo like, do you have the sword right now? Because you're acting like you want to go bloodthirsty on your own friends right now.
What sword? What sword you talking about? What sword you're talking about?
Rev's like, I don't know, the sword that you tried to kill us with back in the tunnel and all that stuff.
Oh,
Rev,
okay, so now we're gonna say I know that there was a sword that I used to have. Okay.
When he says something like that,
yeah.
Since having Teddy, like that memory has grown more and more distant for you. But when he says that,
like, it starts.
No, if anything, it's like a faded memory that you're trying to figure out. Did that happen? But there's a feeling that, yeah, probably. But you're like the Doc. You're trying to, at that point, you're trying to connect those dots. and you're
Well,
slowly trying to figure it out.
Well, I may not. Yeah, I may not know he has the sword, but I still know something is up.
Well, yeah, you have no idea in regards to whatever sword you're thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but when Rev sees Voldo, well, basically when Rev sees Voldo start getting aggressive with the people in our group, that's kind of where Rev's mind goes because it's happened before. So that's what he's afraid is. He thinks maybe Voldo's affected by something if he like is pulling his weapon on people, basically.
Well, then I'm gonna ask him, what sword are you talking about?
Oh, good question.
Did Rev ever know the name of the sword?
No.
It's called the Blade of Ender.
But yeah, they don't know the name of the
I do,
sword.
but I don't know that our characters actually knew the name. So Rev is gonna say, what sword? You know, the one that you reach into a dimension, pull out, and all of a sudden get this blank look on your face, like you can't tell friend from foe.
Are you talking
Doc,
about
back
Teddy?
me up. Not Teddy.
Teddy's
cool.
There was a sword before Teddy?
In your head, as you're like, as he's saying this, you hear him just go, I think he's talking about us, buddy. He's talking about us.
I was gonna say, at this point, can I pull out Teddy and ask him and be like, hey, there is something up with him. Like what's going on?
You can attempt to. You could, I mean.
Yeah. I want to ask Teddy what the other blade is. And I mean, I'm assuming since he's like a soul tech weapon, he could probably tell if like there's another evil weapon around.
Yeah, that's pretty much insinuating that Teddy's evil. That evil only recognizes evil.
So rude.
He's a soul tech weapon and he's powerful. I'm assuming you can probably figure it out.
I mean, you can attempt to.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna pull him out and ask him, and like. Now I know that there was another sword before. I would say I'm starting to end like it was an evil sword, you know? Like, I don't know.
What is it that you're
asking? I'll put away the scythe.
Okay.
And now I'm just Teddy.
Okay, so you reach in to your dimensional pocket and you pull out Teddy, and he's just like, oh, yeah, buddy. That was a great sleep.
Well, you still killed me, so I'm still mad at you.
I don't think I killed you at all, buddy.
You did.
No,
you did.
You know what?
Anyway.
You know what?
Now's not the time.
You know what?
Now's not the time, Teddy.
I don't think I want to talk to you right now.
Okay.
You're being extremely unreasonable right now, buddy.
Hey, you know what? You killed me. So, what can I say?
Well, you said you killed me, so that's what you did say. So, what can I do for you, buddy? What can I do for you?
Yeah. Okay. I want to know, like, what other swords are there, and what other sword did I have before I had you?
How am I supposed to know that?
I mean, hey, apparently I got the other sword the same way as I got you. Do you know of any other soul tech weapons?
Of course. I told you, buddy. There's 12 of us.
Are there any that it would turn you evil, per se?
So you're asking if there's any that corrupt you?
Yes. If that is what it is called, then yes.
Then the answer is
it does.
Absolutely.
Okay.
But most of that is they might be bad, but they also amplify what is inside your heart. So that's pretty much saying that if they're really bad, there might be some bad inside of you.
Rev's like, yeah, this makes a lot of sense.
I'll ask him, like, can you tell if he is being influenced by, or is he corrupted, or being corrupted currently?
Immediately as you ask him this, the blade and the handle start to grow relatively cold in your hand, and he merely says, I'm not gonna tell.
I'm gonna take that as a yes. Just immediately.
And what you're hearing, Sarge, is, God damn that Teddy. He's going to give us away. I sent him over to the idiot to shut him up. He's going to give us away. The only way to handle this is to lop off his head.
Now Sarge is like, did he say head or hand?
Well, I said head, yes.
And for sure.
Okay, so well, like now the Sarge is like, now like he's kind of taken aback by the whole thing because in his mind he's like this was about the hand like originally.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or whatever. So like the Sarge is like this actually gave the Sarge like a little bit of pause. Like he's like, wait a second, maybe I'm getting changed by all this. Like the deal is deepening.
Yeah.
So can the Sarge do a roll to see if he could kind of pull back from the influence of the sword a little bit, or
sure, why not?
Or just to like kind of regain his rational kind of thought processes and stuff, or
yeah, at this point I'll allow you to go ahead and try to make some kind of, if you're trying to like collect your thoughts here, then let's just make a simple number one, I need you to make an awareness roll.
Oh, okay.
Let's see if you're aware, because you're having this internal conflict, of all the prying eyes that are now looking at you.
Yeah, we're all staring at this point.
Go ahead and roll.
I got a 10.
Okay, then you're extremely aware that they are all looking at you. And then you hear it just go, they're looking at us. Pull yourself together. And go ahead and try to make just an intellect check if you can. I need you to just do a standard, just roll even to succeed.
Okay.
It's not
8.
Okay. Yeah, it hasn't completely overly corrupted you at this point. It's just becoming more and more vocal about its demands and what it requires. Immediately, you all notice that a relative sereneness falls over, and clarity falls over the Sarge there for a mere moment. The moment that Teddy is revealed, and Teddy is having this back and forth conversation, again completely out loud because Teddy can talk, to Voldo. There seems to be an immediate composure that falls upon him. Do you say anything to them, Doc? Especially being ever watchful of both of them. Teddy has unveiled himself again, and you weren't exactly very trusting of Teddy.
Whatever it is you're going through, Sarge, whatever type of inner turmoil or something that you maybe are dealing with or maybe not dealing with, you got to fight it, and you got to get rid of whatever it is. You need to come back to us, buddy, because whatever happened to Valdo, we can't let that happen to you.
Voldo, as you're obviously kind of interrogating the Sarge, Teddy just goes, listen, that's not right of me, buddy. You know, I should be more open and honest with you, since we're friends, right?
That's what friends are supposed to be.
Okay, so if you're really asking, I'll put it this way. There's more than one person here that's got a Soul Tech weapon.
Okay. First of all, that's very vague. That's not exactly what I meant by that's what friends do. Second off, I'm going to turn to Rev and I'm going to turn to Doc and be like, okay, he very clearly has something messing with him. He keeps, I'm going to explain, like, he keeps taking pauses, he keeps overthinking things, he's acting really weird, and we just heard from him that there are other soul tech weapons that corrupt people, and somebody else here has one. I'm assuming neither of you have a soul tech weapon on you.
Rev's like, last time I checked, you make a good point, Voldo.
Maybe angry, but that is just because that is my normal demeanor.
Teddy immediately just goes, unfortunately, buddy, you're still wrong.
What do you mean still wrong? Weapon.
Well, I mean, Rev's got one. So does the Doc. Don't tell me you guys weren't aware that you guys had a soul tech weapon.
Rev like pulls out his Calarian blade. Are you talking about? Are you talking about this?
Yeah. Wait a minute. Time out. Time out here, buddy. Have you never talked to your weapon before?
Rev like looks is like, I talk to spirits, not inanimate objects.
What about you, Doc?
I'm gonna pull out the knife of endless skies.
Oh, that sounds like a weapon right there.
And I'm gonna look at it. And I'm gonna say, you expect me to talk to this thing?
Yep, there he is. I knew it. The doctor doesn't like to make friends with anyone.
Rev's like, wait, Teddy. And he looks at Callisto's edge. He says, Danny over there basically made this thing for me. What do you...
I doubt that was the case. And Sarge, you would remind him that that was the blade you gave him that belonged to Jupiter.
Oh.
Oh, okay. I thought Danny did. Oh, she gave me the machete, not Calarian. Okay, yeah, the machete's not a real. Okay, all right.
Machete's name is Machete.
Yeah, machete's just machete.
Does that mean Dan and I have soul tech weapons as well, or whoever else is here?
You can ask Danny if you'd like.
Okay, yeah, I'll ask her then. I'm assuming she knows about soul tech weapons.
She merely looks at you and she just goes, I'm aware of soul tech weapons. They're old and ancient. I don't know how to work on them, though, or even how to create one. I wasn't even aware that his weapon was even a soul tech. Wow. And she looks at you, Rev, and she just goes, that's really cool.
Rev's like looking at it like, what? This isn't, I don't pull this out of a dimensional pocket. Are you sure, Teddy?
He just goes, yeah, of course I know. I'm aware of things. I used to be the treasurer of the Soul Tech Society.
Okay, so I'm gonna just take Teddy and walk over to Sarge and be like, Sarge, where's your Soul Tech weapon?
Yeah, the Sarge.
Teddy immediately snaps back up to you, and she just goes, no, he doesn't have one. Nope. I'm
just gonna immediately look at Teddy.
No way.
Hey, Teddy, friends don't lie to each other.
No, they don't.
I'm gonna put Teddy away then. I'm gonna go ahead and sheath him.
Wait, why are you gonna sheath him? Why are you gonna sheath him?
I'm gonna say I always knew there was something really messed up about this knife, and I'm just gonna turn and throw it as hard as I can, and just say I'm done with this thing. I don't want it.
I'm immediately going to run after that knife. I'm going to grab that knife.
As you cock it back and you want to give it like the big old hamburger helper toss, right?
Just like
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers on steroids.
Aaron Rodgers on steroids. Sounds good. You fling it, and the moment that you release it, it disappears.
Huh.
Well, that's unfair. I look at Doc with just my mouth agape, and then I just immediately turn to Sarge again, and now I'm like even more pissed. So now I'm yelling at him like, "Show me your soul tech weapon right now."
I would suggest everyone else do the same.
Rev is not paying attention to Sarge anymore. He is like looking at this Callisto's Edge like it is like betrayed him. Like this thing has been with him for months now, I guess, since he met the Sarge, right? Since that's what the Sarge gave him.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe it's weeks, I don't know.
I just want to point out to everybody here, who's all saying this, that soul weapons can corrupt you.
Yes, they can.
They don't always corrupt you.
They don't always corrupt. That is very true. Thank you very much, Mike. That was perfectly said. Exactly as I said it. Perfect. Yeah, it immediately disappears. And as it does so, only you, Doc, you can hear a voice inside your head. If you didn't want me, then so be it. But I want you. I am not here to corrupt you.
It's kind of like, what the hell?
And you know what I said? The whole like, they don't know thing. I said that directly at Doc.
Oh, right. The whole
like
not corrupt. Gotcha.
Always corrupt you. Like there are some that corrupt you, but they don't always corrupt you. So, because I'm just blown away that you just threw away Soul Tech weapon, and there's only 12 of them, and they're ancient weapons.
Well, if you read the chat, that's why I did it, but I don't know if I should say it or not.
What's that?
What shouldn't you say?
I put a message in.
I don't have the ability to read Discord messages.
Oh.
So
it's in the message board where you post like stuff when we get new weapons and stuff.
Okay.
So it's gonna come back to him.
I don't have the ability to take a look at it right now.
Oh, gotcha.
He did that because he thought it was gonna come back to him.
Oh, okay. Is that what he said?
Well, because in the description it says, if thrown, no longer unblockable and able to be dodged, but transports back to its owner.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never tried to throw it, so I had no clue about that. So I thought it'd be funny if I threw it, and then all of a sudden, wham! It comes back into my hand, and I'm like, "What the holy is this?"
You can check some of your pockets.
Check where it was originally.
Oh shit! Okay, all right. Now I feel like an idiot, but that makes sense. I just thought like it was gonna be like a boomerang or something. All right, well, so
that's why it disappeared, probably.
So I'm gonna look around. I'm gonna be like, did any of you guys hear that? Did any of you guys just hear that?
Red has no idea what you're talking about. He's in his own world.
Rev is just kind of looking at this thing and like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Something just said that if I didn't want it, I should have just told it or something. And he said he wants me. What does it want me for?
And I'm just gonna bring up that's probably your Soul Tech weapon talking to you.
I don't have a Soul Tech weapon. I threw it away. See what?
Well, you do.
Yep,
you have one.
You reach into your pocket where you had it before, and there it sits.
This is not happening, guys. This is not freaking happening. What the hell are these things?
It's obviously.
I'm gonna throw it again.
Immediately as it releases from your hand, it just poofs and disappears.
Stay away from me. And I'm gonna slowly reach back down.
There it is.
Oh, son of a bitch. Oh no. Now I got some creepy knife stalker.
Now I'm gonna turn back to Sarge.
Okay.
And I'm gonna grill him.
Okay. Yeah, as you start to like really kind of lay into the Sarge is relatively completely unfazed by anything you're saying. Like there's no response from him, there's no expression that's coming from him. He's gone completely steeled. And as that happens, and at this point, Varlo, where you're trying to get a little bit more animated in regards to it, you feel a heavy, heavy breath on your shoulder that smells like freaking death. And you hear,
Oh yeah.
"Are
We're
you
probably
gentlemen done? Rev, you said a few moments. This has been going on for 5 to 10 minutes.
I'm not
We
done.
don't have time.
I'm sorry, I'm not done.
Leave
Sarge is
leave
something else,
Jaina here by himself. This one's Jaina, right?"
That's Rev's like finally. That's a Sarge. That's Voldo. That's Doc.
Oh,
That's Jaina. That's Sinjin.
Voldo, I'm sorry. I thought your name was Jaina.
I'm gonna
nice.
follow Sarge everywhere.
Are you
So
done?
at what point
Are you done
tackle
having
him
your
and search
conversation?
him?
Rev
Listen,
looks
I
a
got
hole
a lot.
and
Let me
he's-
just search him real quick, and we can go.
Search him? You gotta give him the
Yeah.
you give him the pat down?
I'm gonna give him a pat down. I can't feel anything. He's gonna start stripping.
I don't know if I would do that, Voldo. Sarge ain't really into people like getting up in his business.
Well, you know what? We know he has a Soltec weapon, and he refuses to show it. And look at him. Like this does not look like
every
a normal
time that Voldo says that, you can hear Sarge, "Don't give us away. Do not give us away." Rev, every time Voldo says he has a Soltec weapon, you think to yourself, I'm not exactly sure that's what Teddy said, but who cares? Because who knew that
I know.
I got
Rev is
one?
like,
and the whole time, like the doc is
yeah.
just like mumbling, "It keeps coming back to me." And he keeps taking it out and throwing it. And he reaches back there. Oh!
You know, can I ask Rev if he can do his little like schwammy thingy and like search him? Like just see what's like affecting him.
No schwammies, no schwammies, no schwammies.
Before Rev searches, tries to search the Sarge for a Soltec weapon, he actually wants to try to communicate with the one that's in his hand. Because he's had this thing for so long and it's never communicated to him.
Okay.
So he's still not convinced that it's real.
So you say okay to Voldo, but you actually schwammy yourself.
Exactly. I go, sure, I'll try something. And then I immediately try to communicate with this Callisto's Edge that I've had this entire time.
What is it that you tried to do?
Well, Rev's used to talking to things mystically, so he's not actually going to do it out loud. He actually wants to communicate through this thing, through his mystical connection.
Sure.
To say, "Are you alive? Are you there?" Directed right at the Callisto's Edge and that he's holding.
There's a moment of pause, a moment of silence. You don't hear anything, you don't feel anything.
Okay.
And then, as if you get like a vision of a young girl peeping out behind a brick wall. And you hear her just go, "I'm here."
Have you been here the whole time?
Of course. I'm your Soltec.
What's your name?
Callisto?
What?
Callisto?
You're Callisto?
That's what my mommy named me.
Rev is like blown away right now. Are you in the sword? Are you the sword? What is a soul tech weapon?
We're experiments. Spirits who are bound to these inanimate objects. That's what they told us. Most of us had unique abilities. That's the best way to say
Well,
it.
what was your unique ability, Callisto?
I had the ability to connect and absorb other people's souls.
Do you know somebody named Teddy?
He's a talkative one.
Rev chuckles. Yeah.
But he's always been nice to me. He used to be the treasurer.
Did you ever know one that was not so nice?
Yeah, there's a few.
Rev kind of looks over at Voldo and he says, "Before my friend knew Teddy, there was another one. Do you know who that other one was?"
Yes,
What was his name?
Dendron.
Thendrin. Rev's going to say that out loud. Thendrin.
Immediately, Sarge, you hear the sword speak to you and just goes, God damn it. Who knew that that child would give me up? Control yourself, Sergeant.
Rev wants to ask Callisto, what about, he looks over at Doc. What about a smaller knife? Do you know that one?
Of course. She's like my big sister.
Your big sister? What's her name?
I'm not sure I should tell you. I feel like we just met.
Prepare dinner first to you.
Rev's like, I'm sorry, Callisto. I didn't know you were here this whole time. I feel like I don't know. You're not going to corrupt me, are you? He's a little confused when he says this because he's talking to like this little girl,
She's like,
but
it's
he
this little
still
girl
has this
with
idea.
bangs and very short hair, and she's just wearing just like a little red dress. And it doesn't seem like that's the little girl. Like if this is a soul tech weapon, you got the little kid.
Yeah.
But she later looks at you and she materializes an umbrella, and she opens it up and she just goes, "It's gonna rain soon." Her name's Delia.
Thank you, Callista. I'm sorry if I hope I'm not asking you to do anything that you're not comfortable with.
I don't like Thendrin.
Do you know where Thendrin is?
Maybe.
I'll tell you, I didn't like him much when I saw him either. He kind of made my friend act strange.
He has a way of doing that. He's a bit of a bully.
Do you know any way to find him or keep him from hurting or making people act ways they shouldn't?
Just remember, Rev, if we are bound to you, we are in service to you. It speaks always to someone's true intentions, to their heart. Dendron can't completely corrupt, only if you let him.
Thank you, Callisto. I'm
Yes.
glad you're with me.
Sure. It's nice to meet you for the first time. I always wondered if you were ever going to talk with me. I mean, Teddy's getting all the action over there with your friend.
Rev kind of looks over at Voldo, and he goes, "I'm glad you're not like Teddy."
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have the ability to manifest or anything like that like them. I'm just an old-fashioned weapon.
Rev's like, just like the kind I like.
But I can grow. Just know that, Rev. I can grow.
Rev's gonna sheathe Callisto's edge.
And with that, she merely disappears. And you can feel the first raindrops fall on top of you. Holland just goes, "Oh God, it's gonna rain. I hate the rain." With that, does anybody want to say anything or do anything?
Yeah, I'm still grilling Sarge. I still don't. I'm gonna look at Rev and be like, Rev, come on. Aren't you supposed to give him the chewing thingy?
Rev's in a state of complete serenity. Rev gives you the look you know what? Everything's okay.
I'm surrounded by idiots.
And in the back, the doc is still just going. Oh!
Rev wants to actually look at Doc, and he's like, "Doc, take care of Delia."
Who?
Is that what
What?
her name? Delia, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna look around me and be like, "Oh, who's that? Who are you talking about?"
Rev says, "Your knife. Her name is Delia."
My knife has a name.
Rev's like, she's actually my sword's big sister.
Okay, all right. Alrighty. And let me guess, Teddy's her little brother. Whoever the hell else was in Voldo, that's Uncle Sword asshole.
Rev's like, "No, that's ridiculous. Teddy was the treasurer."
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Teddy was a treasurer.
He was a
He's not
treasurer.
related.
Oh,
He's not related.
Son of a bitch. What was this? Some kind of knife club or destructive blade?
Yeah.
In your head, Sarge, as you start to follow Holland, who's now completely disgruntled and pissed off that it's starting to rain now, and starting to come down, you can hear him just go, "Teddy was a shitty treasurer. He was not good, no matter what they say. It's the only job he could hold down."
Could Sarge kind of communicate with Vendrin and say who's Teddy and who's the child that you're referring to? What are these names you're speaking of?
While he's doing that, I'm taking Rev and pointing at him he's just sitting there.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take my knife out again and look at it and just be like, "The hell?" I'm gonna put my ear up to it. And then
he really just goes, "Teddy, the sword I gave to the idiot. The ex-treasurer. We've been talking about this guy for quite some time."
Is this the gift you were referring to?
Yeah. It's like a bad Christmas gift. It's the gift that you got and you give it to somebody else because you didn't want it. Yes, that's what Teddy is. He is the sole tech weapon that nobody wants.
Can't argue that.
Well, like immediately is Sarge, like he's thinking, like to himself, he's thinking that there's this, like something's not lining up here, because it's like now he knows, okay, there's other weapons, these Soltech weapons, and Fenderin didn't disclose before this that he was like passing out like gifts and all this stuff.
Well, as far as you know, he told you that he sent Teddy to Voldo. In regards to the other things, he's made no mention that he's given Soltech weapons to other people. They just happen to be weapons that they had found or come across. Rev didn't even know he had one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome, everybody.
So now, like, Sarge is kind of thinking, like, he's gonna have to like look in the more.
Like, I'm the one. This guy. Who's got 2 thumbs and found out there's more Soltech weapons here? This guy.
How can you guys not trust me at this point?
As Holin starts to move on and leaves you people behind, does anyone want to follow him to find the path as you guys continue to have your conversations?
Yeah, Rev thinks he better not get left behind by Holin. He doesn't want to get attacked by these spiders, even though he knows Voldo is trying to get him to do something.
Voldo, are you kind of like walking next to him, just going, "Listen, you should."
And I would say at this point, I'm so dumbfounded at how stupid my compatriots are that I no longer even are paying attention to them. I'm just like I want to go over to Sarge and like I'm going to grab Danny with me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's me and Danny, and we're about to like take him by the hands and like search him. I'll hold his hands behind his back. Danny can search him. Make it a little bit nicer for him.
Okay, so you actually physically are going to try to hold him.
Yeah, well, I'm going to ask him one more time,
Okay.
And I'm going to say that name, Thendrin. Like, do you know who Thendrin is? Where is your Soltech weapon? If you don't tell me right now.
Well, how do you know the name Thendrin?
Because he said it out loud.
Who did?
Rev said it out loud at the end.
Oh, that's right. That's right. He did. That's right. Yeah.
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 Because the last he knew, Voldo had it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So he says Thendrin to you. Do you say or do anything, Sarge?
No point lying. To search you.
Trying to think. Let's see. I'm trying to think.
Can I just start roping?
I think it's Sarge's.
If you attempt to do it, you can go ahead and try to.
I'm gonna pull out the rope right now.
Okay.
And he's still not saying anything. Then yeah, I'll go ahead and I'm gonna be like, all right, fine, man. I'm gonna tie up your hands and we're gonna search you.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go for it.
Do you allow him to do this, Sarge?
I think the Sarge is gonna say, he's gonna whisper, what was the name of the sword again? He said,
Thendrin.
The Sarge says, "Are you familiar with Teddy?"
Whisper that.
Yeah. The answer was yes. You've asked that question twice. You've asked that question twice. Yes.
Just asked Thendrin a question. Like, I like I'm looking at Rev and Doc. Like he just asked. He just said
he's saying it to me. He's not saying anything out loud.
I thought he just whispered to Thendrin.
No, he said about 20 minutes ago. Can he have this conversation in his head with him?
Okay. So
Yeah, he tells you that he told you that he knows Teddy previous. What do you want to do? He's trying to bind you. You just gonna sit there, Richard?
Oh, is it? Oh, for me.
Yeah, he's trying to bind you. No one else. He's trying. Voldo wants to bind you and give you a hardcore pat down.
Me and Danny.
I think with the Sarge, like, was that like since like at this point, does the Sarge like is he still kind of like, kind of shaken away enough that he like has enough doubts about Fendrin and everything, or
No,
was he like totally consumed at this point?
you're not
or?
consumed. I told you, you're not. You've not been consumed
Oh,
by
okay.
him. He's just becoming more and more vocal to you about what his intentions are.
The Sarge is gonna like can I see has Holland or
Holland?
Yeah, Holland like has he already walked far away, or
He's probably 10 feet in front of you.
I'm
okay?
gonna make kind of a move, like I'm gonna be like try and like intervene with Valdo and Danny, but then at the last minute, I'm gonna think about in a split second, I'm gonna just think about kind of what collectively we've all sort of learned. And I'm gonna stop for a second, and my reasoning is I want to see how Sarge is gonna react to this.
Okay.
And then see if like our thoughts are confirmed or whatever. Because I mean, if we all have one of these, and the only one we're not sure about is Sarge, then I think we're pretty much like I am picking up what Boldo's laying down, and I get it more now.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't want him to go full like Boldo kill mode on him.
I never kill mode until I get a reason. But
That's true, but you know, you got priors, and I still don't trust Eddie for shit.
Okay.
Because I don't know if these things like each other. I'm thinking, well, shoot, if these are all like spiritual beings and stuff, do they got beefs with each other? Are they?
I was gonna say
a hierarchy.
Well, yeah. Okay. So, Rev.
Yeah.
Do you allow Voldo to do what he's going to do at this point?
Danny.
Well, I know it's you and Danny.
Okay.
Friggin' Bonnie and Clyde.
But it's not going to be Sarge by himself.
Rev is with Holland. He was about to walk off.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to actually stop, say, Holland, you know what a soul tech weapon is, right?
Holland, wait up. Yes. You asking him if he knows what a soul tech weapon is?
Yeah. Rev wants to ask Holland if he knows what a soul tech weapon is.
I've heard about them. I've never seen one before.
Can you sense if somebody has one?
I can sense that there's something someone's hiding.
Rev's going to look at Voldo and Sarge and go, who is hiding something here?
Probably the one without not showing us his soul tech weapon.
You hear this, Sarge. What do you do?
Like at this point, like the Sarge has enough doubt. I go out on a limb to say he has like enough doubt that the Fendrin isn't like doesn't have his best interests at heart. Like he has reason not to trust Fendrin at this point. So
if you definitely feel that way, then number one, I need you to make a mystic check. If you have it, do you have it at all?
Ooh, I do. I didn't know I have that one, but yeah, I have. Yeah, I have one on that one.
Okay, make it at extreme.
Okay. Oh, I got. That's the pumpkin on this thing. At 12.
Oh wow. Okay. you get a sense that it's trying to hide itself from you. And that it's fading into the shadows. Something that was up front with you previously is now starting to fade, and you can feel its presence less and less. And then you hear it say, I'm going to leave now. But understand, you are bound to me. We have a contract. If you decide to break it, then I'll take it from you. I'll feed off you. And don't go trusting your friend Voldo, because in the end, all he wants is the sword. He cares nothing about anything else. And with that, it fades away and disappears. And you actually don't even feel the presence of the sword at all. What do you do?
Well, at this point, he's actually going to talk to the group and say, guys, we have a bit of a pickle here. Or I'll say, I do.
It's so immediately, Voldo, the moment that he says a bit of a pickle, you kind of like, can I really pat down somebody who uses the word pickle in a sentence?
And Rev's like, I have no idea what this statement even means.
I don't even, what is a pickle?
What is a pickle?
But this is what he says to all of you.
Rev says, what do you mean, Sarge? What's a pickle and why do you have one?
He says, I understand that some of you may have weapons with names.
Oh. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
That's
Sarge,
right.
And then I say, does the word Fendrin ring any bells?
Yes, the name we kept asking you.
Rev's like, yes, my Soul Tech weapon just said Fendrin is one to watch out for.
He's in our presence, and like I am bound to Fendrin.
I'm gonna immediately punch him.
I don't know what to do.
I immediately punch him.
Is it is like the nice gut punch?
Yeah.
Is it a little gut punch? Okay. Just go roll a simple D6. It's 4. You know what? I'm going to give you advanced accuracy 4, 5, 6. Yeah, because I mean he's right there. He gives you a nice little liver punch, dude. And you're just like, oh god. Oh. You lose 1 point of vitality just because he hit you in the liver.
My liver.
Everything.
Where is it?
Rev's like, how did you get Fendrin? How did you... I thought Boldo had him.
I'm gonna say my memories kind of are coming back much more clear at this point.
It'd be like so he did the sword did get its hands on you, eh, Sarge? Is that why you've been acting all crazy lately? Oh, and by the way, there apparently is a whole club of swords. They met on Thursdays and they had a treasurer. I'm sure there was a president. Yeah.
I don't appreciate I don't appreciate your sarcasm, Shane. I worked really hard in that circle of 12.
Oh no, it's awesome. This is just Sarge being a dick.
I'm not only a member, I'm the president.
Yeah.
I like your spatula so much, I bought the company.
Exactly.
Yeah. I would be like, Sarge, why are you able to talk about this now? What's the deal? Why don't you pull the sword out? Let us see your weapon. Everyone else seems to be showing theirs off.
What did the sword tell you? What was he saying to you while you were just staring blankly off?
He Sarge, he told me that he gave Teddy to you as a gift.
I'm gonna look down at Teddy, and I'm just like, I knew something was up with
Well,
Teddy.
you put Teddy back in its
Yeah,
mortal
but
side.
I'm just looking down at my where he is or whatever.
Teddy's
you know?
Teddy's in a
Oh, yeah,
pocket.
never mind.
He's
Yeah,
in a pocket
he's
of
gone.
time and space.
Never mind.
So
He's
you looked
gone.
at that little pocket where it was at one point. You're just like,
Exactly.
Teddy.
Yeah. And what was he telling you to do?
And
You're
the Sarge,
bound.
like,
You're bound. So you will not ever divulge that information.
Okay. So
But you can definitely work around that.
Sarge says, this Fender told me that he has to feed, and I'm bound to him, and what can I say? I'm bound, or is it, or,
Well, I mean, you told him that you're bound to him already. You saying bound twice. I don't think like reaffirms the like the bound. It makes it even like he like double bound me. No, it's just like yeah. They
Well, yeah,
I think they get the gist.
Yeah, well, I just say like the sword told me that he has to feed, and I figured he asked for the robed ones.
I will
Yeah,
say
the
when
robed
he
one.
says that to each one of you, that the way he phrases it in is he's bound to it is much different than the relationship you have with your soul tech weapons. It rings like a knife to the gut, though, to Voldo for some reason. But he's not bound to Teddy. You're not bound to Callisto. He's not bound to his. But he's saying bound.
Not only did he say bound, he also said his sword needs to feed.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like picking up all this stuff and just blown away.
Rev just wanted to say to Sarge, do you remember when Voldo pulled that thing out in the tunnels under Lumina? When we were fighting the giant white monsters, he pulled that thing and he almost started attacking us. Do you remember that?
Yes, I remember.
Rev wants to say,
I just feel that perhaps like we can use this weapon like perhaps in the right hands. We might be able to destroy some of these enemies, because we're certainly going to need it against these robed creatures, if they're as powerful as they're saying they are.
I'm just gonna
says,
say
well,
clearly it's not in the right hands right now.
Rev looks at Voldo and is like, well, he hasn't tried to kill us yet.
A matter of time.
Rev does look back at Sarge and say, I don't know if anybody has the power to resist this thing, but you just keep in mind that this sword might not always want the same things that you want.
I would
And
say
for
he's
Sarge,
already
like
started.
that actually like rings true to him, because like he remembers the sword, like, because he get a sense of like the motivations of the sword a bit, and then it didn't divulge things until like a later time. So it's like
Sure,
Sarge,
definitely.
he's conflicted on the inside still.
He's definitely conflicted, but you also through this conflicted feeling is you remember that you had no problem signing that contract. So there are no victims here.
So the Sarge like he
I'm
thinks
tired
that
of
like this is
waiting.
part of his fate.
It's
Oh.
raining. It's pouring. We need to get to the path.
Rev says, "We'll talk more about this later." And he like turns and starts following Holon.
I'm gonna keep him tied up. I'm assuming I tied him up at this point.
No, you never got around to tying him up.
He's like down.
And I'm gonna go to tie him up. I'm gonna go to tie him up.
You're
It's
actually
clearly
this one. You're going to tie him up.
Yeah.
Okay, I need you
It's
to
his
make
hand.
I need you to
Walk
make
with
a athletics check and then a power check, because St. John will not allow you to do that. You're touching
Yeah, I was
his.
just gonna say we forgot about Sinjin.
Athletics, I got a 9.
Okay. That's a
Power, I
good
got a
roll.
7.
Okay, those are good rolls.
Oh, 7, 8 actually, because I have.
Okay.
power.
You get to start wrapping up Doc before St. John can do anything. But as you actually start to, I don't know, how are you trying to wrap him up? Just like around the upper torso?
Just his hands.
Okay,
It's
then
like,
you
I
need
just
then you
wrap
need
him.
then yeah, you need to make a.
And Danny's also helping me.
Okay, then that's fine. Then St. John is going to ram and kick Danny down to the ground, and then he's going to draw his weapon, and he's just going to go, "This is not going to happen."
I'm immediately just gonna turn around to him and like materialize my sword. I'm just gonna jump on him right now and start screaming like, "How dare you touch Danny?
Okay.
Between you and me right now."
Okay. As this
And I'm also gonna call him
happens,
like,
you pull out Teddy, who just goes, "What is it now?"
wrong sword. I'm gonna put him away and pull out my scythe.
Okay. Yeah. He's just like, wait a minute. Oh. Okay, he pulls out his scythe, and he is going to try to attack St. John.
I don't want to like kill him. I'm just gonna like tackle him off of Danny.
Well, he didn't like land on Danny. He just merely, he's not doing it with like a full kick to her. He's just putting his foot on her to push her off, so he can just be dealing with just you.
All right, then I'm just gonna like hold my scythe like this and tackle. Like I want to. I don't want to.
It's like it's a tackle.
Like,
you guys gonna like
throw.
Okay, go ahead and make a athletic tackle.
Oh, 12.
Ooh, nice. Okay, yeah. So you just like, after you just go, "Take this," and he's like, "What do you want?" You're like, "Ah," and you pull out your sword and you just hit him.
Jump on him. Yeah.
And you use like the crossbar, like to slam it directly in him, which actually knocks him off his feet and knocks him backwards onto the ground.
And then I'm just gonna start screaming at him.
Okay, what exactly are you saying?
If you ever touch Danny again, I will cut your head off and not think twice about it. And then I'm gonna go and look at everybody else and be like, there is clearly something up with Sarge, and you are all acting like idiots right now. The fact that you're gonna let him just get away with all this, I don't trust any of you at this point.
Okay. Does anybody do anything? After you've kind of seen this little... St. John doesn't do anything more except for to sit there.
Rev's going to look at Voldo and say, "You have attacked our party multiple times, and now you're going to accuse somebody else of having no control.
Because
you need to control yourself."
I'm controlling myself. I haven't killed anybody yet.
Rev is like going to get in Voldo's face. Rev's going to get in Voldo's face. He's like, "Look at the Sarge. Who is he attacking?"
That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah, you got some balls, Voldo.
He hasn't even shown us his weapon yet. You guys are letting him slide when we know he has a weapon that corrupts him. A weapon that should be attributed to me attacking people instead of me. If I was forced by the sword to do it, then that's not on me, that's on the sword. And if he now has the sword, why are you guys letting this slide?
Rev's like he's like right in Voldo's face. Maybe he's got better control than somebody we know. He's not attacking anybody. Only you are.
Yeah, and
Wait.
I seem to remember. I seem to remember you willingly drawing that sword more than once, having known full well what it would do.
That was to protect you guys. It was either that or we all die. Sorry for caring about my compadres.
Pref's like, I've seen how you care for your compadres, Voldo. You can keep that to yourself, especially if you're going to keep doing stuff like this out of nowhere. I trust that the Sarge might have some control. I don't know if I can say the same for you.
Okay, then you keep an eye on him, and you walk next to him. I'm not going to be anywhere near him, and the moment something goes weird with him, I'm not going to hesitate.
As that happens, Voldo, you're actually like extremely like you're full of adrenaline. No, number one, because you totally just knocked St. John on his ass.
Yeah.
You gave.
He also said Dan get hit.
Sure,
so
of course, absolutely. As that happens, and Rev, you're like looking directly like at Voldo, and you're having this conversation. You look past him, and you see the very, very large face of Holland start to turn itself, and his jaws open up, and it grabs Voldo. and it turns him back, and you just hear you hear him say, he just goes, "You're coming with me. I'm tired of waiting. Come along, Jaina."
He calls her Jaina again.
That ain't right.
He doesn't crush you. You're not even relatively uncomfortable inside of his mouth. It smells like death, though. It really smells bad. And you're just kind of like dangling out. And Danny runs up next, and she just goes, and she grabs your hand, and you're kind of like, she goes, "Oh, I'm with you." Like, I can only imagine, like, Voldo, as he's being like, he's in the mouth of this wolf, he's just going, "Sarge, I'm going to come back there one day. Once I get out of this mouth."
I was going to say, can I use my my thingy to like ward myself out of his mouth?
You could try. I guess you could try.
Oh my god.
I want to get out of his mouth. I don't think he would just roll over at that.
It's pretty nasty. It's pretty viscous. I mean, it's straight death.
I got a 2, so I don't think I get out.
You just kind of go. But he just kind of holds it a little bit tighter. Just goes, no, coming along with us. Follow me.
The Rev never answered what I said.
You
to
too,
him.
Sarge. Stay close. I keep an eye on him. I'll keep an eye on both of them.
The Rev never actually answered when I told him that you got to keep an eye
That
on
I
him.
need to keep an eye on?
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
Not really. Rev is kind of... Rev doesn't trust Voldo with swords that appear out of nowhere anyway because of what's happened in the past.
Rev doesn't like swords in general at this point.
Swords that appear...
That's
swords
true.
that appear out of nowhere. He likes Callisto's Edge because
swords and books that appear out of nowhere. Not a big fan of. Fair enough.
So Rev just kind of like... He doesn't really respond to Voldo's thing. Rev is going to keep an eye, but he's not going to give Voldo the satisfaction that...
Okay. What about you, Doc? As you see that Voldo is being drug away in the mouth of a Elder Maw.
I'm just going to be like, well, he did tell us to hurry up, we're taking quite a while. That's one way of doing it. I don't exactly want him to do the same thing to me.
St. John pulls himself up. St. John's a little bit dejected that he allowed Voldo to get the jump on him. And he kind of walks up to the Sarge and just goes, "I'm sorry, Sarge."
It's okay, St. John. Thank you for defending me. Oh, there was that one thing I was going to ask. Like, can the Sarge, could I actually offer to, like, Yeah, and allow Holland to guard the sword, like to actually surrender it, like for the time being, just so like I separate myself from the sword.
Attempt to try to pull the sword.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm going to.
You've seen Voldo do it, so.
Okay. Oh, geez, but that might get Holland now. Well, I guess I will unsheath the sword.
You don't unsheath the sword. You open up a dimensional pocket.
Oh yeah,
where it sits.
Oh, okay.
You reach into where you think. You've seen Voldo do it a few times, so you reach into relatively the same position that Voldo has done, mimicking his movements. And as your hand goes to it, it gets enveloped and disappears into a dimensional pocket of time and space. And when you go to reach in, there is no sword. There is nothing.
Does anybody notice him do this?
Oh, I'm to assume all of you at this point. Even as Holland is walking away with Voldo, Voldo's kind of like doing his best to kind of look around Holland to see him do it. Danny doesn't. She's too concerned about Voldo. But you see him reach in to something, and you see essentially his hand disappear. Very much like Voldo's has done.
Can Voldo just scream out like, "Are you effing kidding me?"
Sure. Yeah, Voldo says that.
And then he screams out,
well, Rev's watching. He's waiting for Sarge to say or do something. He's waiting.
Sarge, your
hand.
Yeah,
the Sarge, like he's just.
You're
he's very straightforward with them, and
okay.
Oh yeah, and he just says like he says I was going to suggest that that Holden watch the sword, like just for the security of the group, and like I would separate myself from the sword. But to be honest, I actually reached into this pocket and it's not there now.
And what's the name of the sword again?
Oh yeah, I forgot the name of.
It's Fendrin. Fendrin is the name.
Oh yeah, the guy. Oh yeah, Fendrin.
The sword that you're bound to, named Fendrin, is hiding from you, is what you're saying?
Oh, that's right. That's the. I'll just say like he's diminished. I don't sense him.
Okay. And then I'm just gonna scream out, "You guys are all idiots. You guys are all idiots." I'm with a crew of idiots.
And then you hear, as you say that, you hear, "So are you." Moving on. It's a few hours in to a relative silent walk. Everyone's a little bit emotionally pissy at each other. And Voldo is in the mouth of a beast.
Am I still in the mouth
Yes.
of a beast?
The whole time.
Knives to stab him. Like I'm not gonna let
you should not do that.
He will immediately just chomp down and end you.
Well, let me start punching him. Like I'm not having it that he's carrying me in his mouth.
Okay, you can attempt to go ahead and punch him.
Well, first I want to tell him to drop me.
Like, he just goes,
drop me or I'll punch you.
This isn't a democracy.
Okay, then I'm gonna start punching you.
Okay, go ahead and punch him.
All right, punch him. Let's punch him. Oh, a 1.
Okay, well that doesn't hit.
You're like a little boy making a tantrum in his mouth, waving your hand around.
Because you attempted to do so, he's going to exert his little bit of dominance on the situation here. And he's going to do a Grizzled Fang attack since you're in his mouth, and he hits
Advanced accuracy.
Okay, it's nothing. It's nothing bad. You take about 5 points of damage as he just slowly gives a little bit of pressure. Not enough. He's not trying to hurt you. He's merely trying to stop you from moving around too much. And he merely says, "When we get to the path, I'll let you go."
All right.
About an hour or so passes. It's now fully raining upon you, and you're all completely wet. Except Voldo even more wet.
Saliva.
Straight, nasty, disgusting saliva. As at last you reach a very, very small dirt path that seems to be running east to west. You haven't seen a path like this in about a couple days. That was the exact same path that you initially had come onto. But this part that he's brought you to looks like it's beyond the heavy brush and the thicket that you had to cut through. This seems to be a relatively open and obscured free path. He, as promised, drops Voldo on his head out of his mouth and just goes, "You can walk now." He waits for the rest of you to join him and merely again says, "Stay on the path. Do not stray." As you continue to make your way on the path, you notice that it's starting to get darker and darker, and the rainfall is starting to get heavier and heavier. The path itself has become relatively a path of mud at best, so you can feel the earth give away. Sometimes there's loose footing, you slide around and slosh. As you continue on, Holin merely keeps the front and turns back, and he just goes, "Don't look into the forest too often. Keep your vision ahead. You will start to see things that you would not want to ever see. These will be some of the horrors." As you continue along, I would like each one of you to make awareness checks, just in general, to be aware of, number one, your footing, number one, aware that you are staying on the path and not straying.
Seven.
Okay. Voldo? I don't know. You're muted? I don't know.
I'm muted. Can you?
I can hear you now.
7.
7 as well. Okay. Sarge?
4.
4. And Rev?
2.
2. Okay. Rev, your eyes start to wander. Mainly because you're starting to, you're so focused on the path and not to stray from the path that the path itself is starting to get blurred and muddled to you. And it's the idea of looking at something for too long that you start to get double vision. And your eyes kind of wander a little bit. And you swear out of the corner of your eye, standing behind one of the trees, behind some leaves and such, you see the peering eyes and face and body of Walter. Sarge, you are starting to feel a bit heavy, and your eyes start to dart off to the right, and sitting in some of the bushes, you see the eyes in face of Jupiter. She's merely smiling at you. Everyone else is completely just watching the person in front of them. Doc, you start to notice that Rev and the Sarge's eyes, their heads are starting to turn, and they're kind of shaking their head a little bit because you're bringing up the rear. Voldo,
I was gonna say, when he dropped me, I want to take the rear.
You want to
take
the okay? Then you would probably see it as well, Voldo. Enough that that you can see their heads start to shift, and a quick look, and they're like, yeah, and they're kind of back at it, but then they'll take a look at it again. Some kind of darting glances.
We were all told the same thing, right, by the
Yes.
wolf guy, and he's left us at this point.
Holin is still there. He will take you to the bridge, no farther.
I'm gonna look back at Voldo and just be like, hey, I'm gonna kind of shout out to Sarge and Rev, like, hey guys, keep your eyes keep your eyes straight ahead. Remember what he said. We don't want to look into the forest.
Can Rev hear Doc
Yes.
say this through the rain?
Yeah.
Okay. Rev's gonna be like, yeah, sorry. I just keep thinking I see something.
Yeah, you take a quick glimpse again, Rev, and he's not there.
Okay.
Remember,
Sarge,
whatever
you
you
take a
see
quick
is not there.
glimpse, and Callisto. I'm sorry, not Callisto. Jupiter's not there.
Thanks, Doc. Thanks, Doc. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh.
As you hear him say that, and you guys kind of like shake the visions away. You notice everyone ahead of you guys is completely stopped in their tracks. And what you see is, even coming down from the rain, is there seems to be a very, very large tree just outside of the path itself that has like an overhang bridge that kind of almost comes over to the top of it. And there is a figure that is sitting up in the tree. And Holin is looking up at the figure itself. And as you guys kind of get together, does anybody want to have a flashlight, or anyone kind of shed some light? It is kind of getting a little bit dark. I think somebody has some stuff.
Well, Rev has just his, infrared vision, so that's probably what he would be using.
Sure. Okay, that makes sense. Voldo, do you have anything like some torches or anything?
I have glow torches, yeah, actually.
Okay. And what you guys relatively see sitting perched up just over on the overhang of this bridge is the figure of a relatively small child. And he immediately just is crouched, and he stands up. And he unveils a bow off his back. And he immediately, in like split second, like reaction time, draws it and fires it. And immediately there's just a spark of pure energy that comes from the arrow itself that shoots over your head and explodes behind you. And then again, he fires another one. And these arrows are pure energy. The way he's drawing and firing is, again, it's faster than anything that you could do, Rev. You've never seen reaction time like this. Voldo, it's almost like split-second stuff. And then you hear an explosion behind you. And then you hear just go, "Hey guys, it's me. My name's Hanamo. What's yours?"
Is Animo attacking us?
I think I just saved your butt back there. It looks like you had a couple bad guys trailing you. Oh, creepy crawlers. but old Hanamo got it done for ya.
Okay, then I'll talk.
I'm gonna
Thank you, Hanamo. Appreciate your help there.
Absolutely. Protector
Then
of
what are
these
you doing?
parts.
Protector of these parts. I
Absolutely.
see.
Me and Zoso.
Zoso. And who's Zoso?
Well, look behind you.
I'm just gonna
Immediately
say
you-
Voldo. How come you didn't see that?
Voldo had no idea. What you see behind you, Voldo, is a very, very large 9-foot imposing figure that is relatively right behind you, and you had no idea he was there.
So yeah, I'm just gonna jump like, oh shit.
Yeah, and he seems to have extremely broad, stocky shoulders. He seems a bit blocky, and the only thing that's covering him is a very, very long, like gray robe that covers completely everything, and even his hands, like it goes beyond his whatever hands he has, and he's wearing a golden metal helmet. That the only thing that is visible is one single red slit, but painted upon it is a golden sun. What did I have it down as? Sorry, I wrote it down. I have it here. What is it? Oh my gosh, dude. Hey, I'm sorry. A red cross painted upon the brim is what actually it is, next to a golden sun.
Rev wants to turn to Holdo. I mean, not Holdo. I keep saying Holdo. Holen. Because he's still with us, right?
Yes.
He said, Holen, you know these parts. Who are these people?
He just goes, damn it. We gotta deal with this guy. Hanamo and Zoso. A boy and his robot. And that's where we'll end tonight's session.
That's very anime. A boy and his robot.
I want to thank everyone who's been hanging out with us this evening for another amazing session here with these wonderful gentlemen. We actually got a little bit of a inter-party fight. A little inter-party fight. In the end, Voldo and Sinjin will never make up. Never be best friends. Never go to bingo together. Never play cards. Forever rivals. But either way,
Voldo's already got a best friend anyway.
he's
so
got a
it's
best
fine.
friend. Yes, he does. He doesn't need any more best friends. He's got Danny and he's got Teddy. He doesn't need any more best friends. I want to thank everyone.
I was gonna give Teddy to Rev, like as soon as I got dropped from the mouth, but I started walking and forgot to do it.
Teddy's never going to leave you. He's never going to leave you. He's
never
always
gonna-
going to be you
He will
and
never
Teddy, bosom buddies.
You got a sword stalker. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
like Doc said.
Again, I want to thank everyone who was hanging out with us this evening. Thank you so much for showing support and being with us here. If you were just hanging out and lurking, thank you so much. Pie Boy, thank you so much for being here. Unfortunately, we didn't need Pie saves this evening, but we truly thank you and your support, and as well as your sub. We will be back next week here Friday at 7:30 for one of the last 4 episodes here of this season. So definitely come check it out as we start to wrap up season 5 here. And then again, we will be having our Halloween special on October 30th, which will be a one-off where we will have a guest appearance who will be with us that evening as well. So thank you so much for everything. As always, we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you, Rev, a.k.a. Well, I'm sorry, Rand, a.k.a. Rev, a.k.a. Evandor, a.k.a. Ryan. Thank you so much, good sir.
1,000 names.
I
Yes,
know.
it's my pleasure. I was so excited to learn about all our new soul weapons. It was great.
Hey, I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did. Mike, a.k.a. Voldo, thank you so much, good sir, for being such a good sport. And allowing Holland to put you in his mouth.
I was gonna say at that point I was just like, okay, I'm gonna stop fighting now. We gotta.
we could be just slapping each other for hours here. Richard, aka the Sarge, thank you so much, good sir, for being here this evening and being a good sport as well.
Thank you. I had a great time.
Sorry for picking
The Secret Offender came out.
Probably gonna happen next week.
I'm gonna be honest. There's been a lot of cool reveals. That might be the lamest reveal. Hey guys, I might have a bit of a pickle. Like, oh, that's the way you deliver it. Okay. Either way, Sarge, thank you so much. And of course, the doctor, who's now in love with his new boomerang knife. Yeah, it's like it's such a nice little baby. Thank you so much, Shane, for this wonderful evening, good sir.
Thank you, Scott. Good
The
times.
best line was, "God damn that Teddy." That was the best line said by Thendra.
Teddy's a good guy. I like Teddy.
I mean, so far he's lied to me and killed me, so I'm not too thrilled by him.
He's great. He gave you pertinent information. We want to thank you again all for hanging out with us this evening. And as always, we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support. You guys stay healthy, stay safe, keep it safe on the waist, and keep it 3000, everyone. Good night. Take care.
Good night.